What if I told you that we could turn your podcast into a lead gen tool to generate niche leads back to your business, all while cutting your marketing efforts by 80%? In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to use your podcast as a lead gen tool for your business. Podcasts are fun, but what if I told you that we could turn your podcast into a lead gen tool to generate niche leads back to your business, all while cutting your marketing efforts by 80%? In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to use your podcast as a lead gen tool for your business. As a business and brand, you are nonstop having to come up with content ideas for your business. Creatives, marketing assets, graphics, email campaigns. You're either having to do this all by yourself or you hired a whole marketing team for this. What if I told you by filming one video podcast once a week, you would never have to come up with marketing ideas ever again? Yes, we could turn your one video podcast into hundreds of marketing assets that is going to attract niche followers and niche clients to your business without you having to go and chase them. So if you don't have a podcast already, I have a step-by-step process on how to start a podcast in the show note description. If you already have a podcast, let's get started. I'm going to show you how to leverage your one video podcast to generate you leads for your business and your brand. Okay, so you recorded and published your one video podcast episode. Guess what? Now we are going to turn that one episode into a blog post for your website. See, what we're doing here is that we are repurposing this content and taking the creative mindset completely out of the equation. You don't have to come up with blog post ideas anymore. Topic and research is already done. And all you have to do is repurpose your podcast. By repurposing your podcast into a blog post, you are now going to drive traffic to your website and attract ideal clients. You are building authority and trust, and you are now converting readers into leads. If you go onto my website, you see that I repurpose every single one of my podcast episodes into blog posts. Not even that, I have a whole nother podcast episode on how to convert your podcast into blog posts with ChatGPT, and I'm going to have that linked in the show notes as well. Next, to leverage your podcast into leads for your business, you are going to repurpose your podcast into email campaigns. This has to be one of my favorite strategies, and there are endless benefits to this. Email is the main asset that your business actually owns. So what do I mean by this? Don't think just because your business has a large social following that cannot be taken away any second. I found this out firsthand, and once again, I have a whole episode on this, what I learned about losing my TikTok account at 200,000 followers as a business owner. I have a whole video on it, and I will link that below in the description as well. So your email list is the one thing that you do own, and email is great because you can collect your audience and retarget them at any time. So to leverage your podcast and generate leads back into your business, you are going to repurpose your podcast into email campaigns once a week. This benefits you in so many different ways. Regular emails build trust with your audience and ensure your audience is actually staying engaged. This provides insights and updates to your already warm audience and moves potential clients closer to making a purchase. This also drives traffic and engagement, boosting clicks on your website, your podcast, your social media, and overall increasing your visibility and engagement. So by repurposing your podcast into email campaigns, you are constantly giving them that value. The last method I'm going to go over is the most common, but it is also the most common for a reason. Leveraging your podcast to generate leads back into your business. You are going to repurpose your podcast into social media content. I did a huge deep dive on how to create scroll-stopping content with high conversion rates in one of my recent episodes, which I will also have linked in the show notes below. By repurposing your podcast into social clicks, it is going to open up so many doors for you. You're going to attract new clients and new leads, increase brand awareness, increased brand credibility, more traffic to your podcast and your website, and you are going to establish authority and trust with your audience. All these strategies are exactly why every single business and brand need a podcast. Your business can turn a podcast into a lead gen tool to not only get more clients, but cut out your marketing load by 80%. This method takes the creative aspect off of your hands So you have a one stone, 20 bird content strategy. There are so many other ways that you can leverage your podcast for your business, like books, courses, graphics, webinars. The business opportunities are literally endless when you start a podcast for your business. The business opportunities are endless just from one long form video podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found this super useful. And if you found it useful, please subscribe to my channel, the podcast. Check out my website. Follow me on social media to see my repurpose content. And not even that, check out my website where I have all of my blog posts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.